Welcome to Business News and Other Shit. I'm your host, Amer Abdullah. What's up, Sam Prickett?
Hey, how are you, Amer?
Where have you been?
Oh man,
Under a bridge?
I died recently, and then they just
Jon
gave me back. I got
they
a new
Jon Snowed
heart.
your ass back?
Yes.
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
No, I don't like dragons, and I think the adults that watch it are nerds.
Why? Wait, okay. Why don't you like drag? What did a dragon ever do to you that you said, okay, no, I'm done with dragons?
Nothing.
You have no reason to dislike dragons.
That's true.
So why don't you watch Game of Thrones?
I don't know. One, I don't have the time. Two, I find it. I like documentaries. I don't like anything because like someone just wrote that and then was like, whatever. You know, it's also too long. I don't want to sit through like 8 seasons of whatever.
Okay, you understand you're
I have
in the
better things to do.
You understand you're in the world of entertainment, right? As a stand-up, as an aspiring stand-up,
but I
no,
don't
as a
consume
successful,
it.
you're a successful stand-up comedian, in my opinion. You don't consume your competitor's product. Is that correct?
I'm competing against Game of Thrones.
Absolutely. People have choices on what they want to experience. If you have a show the night of Game of Thrones being on, you are competing with that directly. You understand that, right?
Sure, yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if like, I guess. All right, but it's not. I'm not competing against anything. It's not like, you know what I mean. The people
directly
that are gonna watch,
correct. You're not competing. You're
Yeah.
right. You're right.
I just don't like it really. No.
I understand. You haven't tried it though.
What are we talking about?
Game of Thrones.
Oh.
You think I was talking some kind of drug?
Yeah.
The dragon strain of cannabis?
The dragon. I'm on that straight dragon, dude. Breathing fire. Yeah. No, I haven't tried it.
Great. Well,
Good start.
that's a great start. Dragon. You hate dragons. Got it. Apparently, you're a really busy guy. I never knew that. How busy you are. We got Yahia, Gangster Yahia, Swagger Yahia, Technician of the Year at the University of Chicago Emergency Room Yahia. That's what we got right now. What's up, Yahia?
I feel like Daenerys Stormborn from Game of Thrones now. You're just giving me all those titles after my name?
Yeah, Dragon Rider.
Yeah.
We're going to call you Dragon Rider.
Thanks.
Yahia the Dragon Rider. Yo, you are breathing fire today, though.
I am.
You literally were selected at a employee appreciation. So Yahia is a University of Chicago emergency room technician. All right, dude is legit, and he was selected at an appreciation dinner as the #1 technician, the best technician they have.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Couldn't have done it without my team, though.
Hey, that's a humble man right there. Or is it a humble brag?
He's gonna let it get to his head in a couple weeks. He'll
It's
be,
already
just
inflating.
killing people for fun. I hear once you get a taste for it, it's hard to go
I mean,
back.
I already
Have
do
you
that
seen
now.
Dexter?
I just don't get caught.
Yeah, that's good. Hell yeah.
Don't kill your patience, Yahia. What's up, man? How you been?
I've been good, man.
Oh, we got a fly in the podcast studio.
That's how fly it is in here.
Ba-doom-tsh.
So stupid.
How's your Robinhood account?
It's been kind of constant.
Yeah, I mean, stocks are pretty much all-time highs, record highs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Robinhood's good. It's okay. Stash is going up, and
You have 2 accounts. I forgot that.
3 accounts.
What? What's the third one?
My Chase investing account. That's where I buy my SPY.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have a Pornhub
That one's
account.
doing really
You have
good.
a Pornhub
That
account?
one's doing real well.
Yeah. Is that an all-time high for you?
It's at an all-time high.
I think it's all-time low for Sam.
What? No.
Well, no. When your Pornhub's at an all-time high, it must mean you're at an all-time low.
No, I feel great about it.
No shame at
I'm
all.
a positive consumer. You know, they make a good product. What can I say?
Do you have a favorite category?
Women crying. No, that's a bad.
He likes tentacles.
I don't know.
That's
I don't know.
that's your
Just
mom when you were
straight,
born.
Just good old-fashioned gay porn.
You're so offensive.
Is that offensive?
I think to gay people, because you don't really watch gay porn, do you?
I don't know. You don't know.
True. It's true. I don't know.
Yeah.
However,
It
based
doesn't
on
matter. Why
based on how
is it
much
offensive to watch gay porn or to joke about watching gay porn?
to joke about it could be offensive.
It would be offensive if I said. Never. I was. Yeah, never.
On that note, let's introduce Cofield, Cortland Cofield, who goes by Cofield. What's up, Cofield?
What's up, man? Y'all have me dying already.
You're a quiet laugher, I must say.
I didn't want to laugh before I was introduced because I was trying
That'd
to
be
be
weird.
courteous.
Oh man, what a courteous man.
Yeah.
Cofield, man, it's cool to have you on this podcast.
It's great to be here. It was a bitch getting here.
Yeah.
But
We tape at CineSpace Studios, which is turned upside down. You know what I think? So just for people listening, we're at CineSpace Studios, which is where they tape Chicago Med, Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and Empire.
Yeah.
All right, and I think this is my suspicion. All right, you guys remember the Jussie Smollett story, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Jussie's the
Oh,
I
is he on
remember that.
Empire?
he's on
Yeah.
Empire.
Oh.
He's the character who is the son of Terrence,
The gay son, right?
the gay son.
Gay son.
Yeah, he's black, he's gay, and he created this whole theater where he set up his own hate crime,
Yeah.
right? And
Was
it got
that here?
It happened in Chicago. Yeah.
well, it happened in
Ooh,
Chicago.
Not, but it like CineSpace.
Streeterville's where the actual event took place in front of a subway.
the false event.
Yeah.
Yeah, what'd you say?
The false event.
The false event took place, yeah. And so, but here's the thing, I think. Now, what was happening was Jussie was sending himself ransom letters to CineSpace Studios at the Fox, where they're taping Empire. So my guess is internally CineSpace was like, oh shit, one of our employees, or I guess employee at CineSpace, is being targeted for hate crimes. We better install gates, security, this, that. This is probably like 6 months ago, before the Jussie Smollett thing exploded. And I think
That's
They-
why all this.
that's why all this is happening.
Wow.
It's hard to get into CineSpace
That's
now. They've closed off all these streets
Yeah.
because I suspect because of Jussie Smollett and that whole drama. And then later on, months later, they found out, oh, the whole thing was a hoax.
Just shut the shit down. Like, yeah.
But they're already building gates and changing streets and all. They invested millions of dollars because of this douche.
Oh man.
Can you believe it? I think that's what happened.
I know it's pretty cool because like you feel like you're someone special when you come here now.
I know they have the big sign in the gates, and like
Yeah.
you gotta walk, you gotta go through a booth,
Yeah.
security booth.
My Uber driver was like, "You're somebody. You're somebody important, aren't you?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I didn't mind that.
In my own way, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for coming here, Cofield. Cofield is a financial planner. I mean, maybe more even a financial planner and business advisor, I would say. Financial planner and business advisor. You are trained as a CPA.
Yep.
Right? You have a CPA, which is a pretty big thing to have these days.
What's a CPA?
Certified
Public accountant.
public accountant. Thank you.
Thank you.
And he got his master's in accounting too.
Yep.
I mean, shit, that's
Damn.
huge, man.
Boom.
And
Right?
I hated all of it.
Oh, really?
Well, I hated the working as an accountant because you're just.
Oh.
But they don't tell you in college you're redoing work. Like you look at somebody's work, they did it wrong, you do it right, then you send it back.
Have you heard the term bean counter?
Yeah.
Right? That's what they say accountants are, is bean counters.
Yeah. It's
Not fun.
It's not fun.
Have you heard bean counter before, Sam?
Yeah, but I used it for like a different thing.
Yeah.
What did you use it for?
Like in an orgy situation. That sucks. I'm on a bad. My mind's in the gutter today.
I
You
have
made
an
me play those
idea.
improv
I have an
games
idea.
before
We
this.
can warm your brain up with some improv games. All right. So, Cofield. So now you're like, F all this. I'm going to start my own financial planning firm for entrepreneur millennials.
Yeah.
That's basically what you do.
Basically.
Is you coach, you advise, you set up a person who's a millennial who's, I guess, affluent, potentially affluent, not necessarily affluent.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the word affluent. 'Cause
Would
that
you
makes it sound
would
really
you take
cool.
Sam Prickett as a client?
Yeah, Sam's gonna be a rock star one day.
Yeah, rock star.
I'm gonna quit comedy. Start playing the guitar.
It's so like the way I say it to clients is like, hey, you get your business advisor, financial advisor, tax accountant all in one place, right? You need all three.
Business advisor, financial advisor, and tax accountant all in one place with you.
Exactly.
I got you.
And I have a team. But yeah.
I like it. And you got a team. Cool. I checked you out, man. I'm like, whoa. You've been quoted on CNBC in various articles on Reuters and NASDAQ and then you regularly appear on the U in Chicago here as a TV station.
Yeah, I'm on there about once a month.
Once a month.
Just giving different advice. I'll pitch them ideas. They take what they want. And we
Love it.
Go shoot it.
Cool. We're gonna catch up with you in a little bit. Right now, let's get some business news and some other shit. Sam, you giving me a look of death right now.
No, I'm not. I'm
Okay, you
sorry.
still like me?
Yeah. I
thought
love
you
you.
were mad at
Amer.
me. Oh, I love you too.
The whiskey's kicking in. He's getting nice.
All right. Big news of the week, y'all. The biggest news about Apple. So Apple stock was going down pretty seriously today. Yesterday and after hours trading, but also this morning. I think it reached it was down 2%, which is kind of a big number for Apple. Because there's someone important leaving Apple who's no longer going to be at Apple.
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs is dead.
Oh shit! What?
Wow.
No! God damn it! All right.
I know.
Glad that's out of your system now.
Yeah, so as you process your grief, Sam, let me continue.
Yeah.
a dude named Jony Ive. Y'all ever heard this name, Jony Ive?
No.
Jony Ive was basically, Steve Jobs referred to Jony Ive as my spiritual partner. These two dudes were like, two peas in a pod.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was kind of like the next biggest thing at and everyone felt okay about Apple after Steve Jobs passed away, may God rest his soul, because of Jony Ive still staying there. Jony Ive's been there for over 30 years, all right? And this dude is leaving to open up his own firm.
What type of
Firm.
It's the same thing. So he does design.
Okay.
So who's Jony Ive? All right. So the look and
Jony
feel,
Ive. That's
the
a cool
look and
name.
feel of it is a
He's
cool
like
name.
an old, like a cowboy or something.
Cowboy.
Old Western. Yeah.
No, he's actually a Brit.
Oh, what?
I know, right?
Is he the
It's
guy
weird.
that like
That's
introduces the product? Or is that not him?
Yeah.
No.
Who wears the turtleneck?
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, but now they have a new turtleneck guy, right?
Tim Cook.
Yeah. He doesn't
Okay.
return next.
Does he still wear a turtleneck?
Turtlenecks?
I don't know. That'd be weird if he did.
Yeah.
But check it out. So you see, okay, Cofield, guys, the camera, I'll hold it up to the camera, has this really cool AirPod case, right? With these really cool AirPods in them.
That was his work?
The look and feel of every single Apple product, Jony Ive's fingerprints all over them. All right, so Apple is kind of...
Probably took a lot of time that he touched every product before.
This guy's a groper, Sam, if you know what I mean. He
I
likes
do
to
know
touch.
what you mean.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, like
Unfortunately,
like a
you
sexually
do.
assaulter?
Yeah.
Oh, is that an
So does-
accusation? You
so-
heard it here on Amer's podcast.
You know what?
Jony Ive sexually
Oh,
assaults
Jesus
people.
Christ.
No, you said you know all about groping. That's what you said.
No, I didn't. You said you. What?
Oh, I said you know what I mean. You're like, yeah, I know what you mean. But you meant more about Jony Ive.
Way to break down a bitch to where it's not funny anymore.
I was gonna say anyway. So all these amazing products, right? Jony Ive, his fingerprints all over him. I like this thing. Do you have AirPods, Sam?
No, I can't afford
Do
them.
you? Yeah.
No, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, they are.
Do you like them?
They changed my life.
Change your life, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty amazing.
Best thing. Like,
One of the best things I've ever bought. But here's the funnest part of these
Do they
things.
kill your battery on your phone? That would be a...
No,
No.
Really?
No,
They
don't
have their
kill
own
your
battery.
they have their own battery.
Own
That's why
battery.
it's in the charging case.
Huh, but I'd be just like having it on Bluetooth all the time and like with your... No,
Nope.
it's not bad? All right.
This is what dies. Is this
the
not? And then this is a case. So when these die, you just drop it back in.
15 minutes to get 3 hours back.
Yep.
Damn.
Whoa.
So check this out.
Damn.
I'm gonna get
With the
some.
funnest part of this thing, right? The funnest part. I'm holding up the AirPod case. Whoever's listening, the funnest part of this thing is like
Just shoving
this.
it up your ass. No.
Is like the case.
Yeah.
It's like a
It's
fidget
so
spinner.
fun.
Yeah.
It's like a fidget spinner. Yeah. But it's amazing, right? The spring and the action and the look and the feel and the round edges.
Right.
That's Jony Ive. This guy's gone.
And that's scary. That's really scary because he didn't die. He just left, right? So that means that he left for a reason.
Yeah.
Steve Jobs died. That's uncontrollable. When somebody leaves, it's like he doesn't want to be there.
Pretty
Right.
soon, Apple's next phone is just going to be one of those like 80s ones that comes with its own purse connected to it, just like some
fucking
sort
cord.
of military battery. Yeah.
They're going back in time.
Yeah.
We need backup.
And it's like retro. They start going back to the flip phones,
Captain
and then
Dan.
pretty soon, just like a Morse code. Captain.
Tim Cook. So he's leaving. Now he's starting his own firm called Love Firm. He's going to call it Love Firm, which I guess he actually says he got that name from Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs told him something like that before. But anyway, this guy's so important. The iMac, the iPad, the Apple Watch. This guy,
What?
he
He's
designed
calling it the Love Firm.
Love Firm.
You catch that?
And Steve Jobs told him that. Ugh, all right,
Yeah.
well.
I think him and Steve Jobs had a different kind of relationship. You know?
I think you're putting down.
The iPad, the Apple Watch, the iPhone itself. This guy was all of it, right? He was the chief design officer, CDO. So he's leaving. Now here's my take on this whole thing. So my take is this: I think it's actually a great sign for Apple that he's leaving, because Apple and the whole world of hardware and making phones, everyone's making phones now. You don't need a hardware guy or a chief design officer anymore. He's going to start his own firm. His number one client is going to be Apple. That's his first client. All right. And I really think Apple's becoming more of a service firm. They're getting way more into the business of like using your Apple Watch for health reasons, using autonomous driving cars and the technology that comes with that. They're becoming much more of a service-oriented company. And so they don't really need this huge, big swinging chief design officer anymore. So I think the fact that he's leaving, he's realizing, my time is up here. Apple's becoming more assertive. I think that's great because you got to change. If you're a company that's going to keep trying to do the same shit over and over year after year, you're going to die eventually. You got to change with the times. I think that they are changing with the times. I think that Jony Ive sees that, and I say, yo, buy more Apple stock.
Okay. That's the hot take right there.
Boom. That's what I think.
It's going down 2%.
You got an opinion on it?
So I'll say this. I do think it will make a lot of people nervous, right?
That he's leaving?
Right. It'll make a lot of people nervous, and if the stock continues to drop, then as a person that is a good investor, you should when there's fear, you should buy. When there's greed, you should
Warren Buffett, baby.
Exactly. So
when everyone's scared, start buying.
Exactly.
When everyone's greedy, get scared.
Exactly. So I think in that sense, it would be a good buy. And I just believe in the long term. Like Apple has everything: phone, watch, pods. I just
we make the joke like, what's next? Like the iHouse, the
I
iWife.
I literally wouldn't be surprised. Alexa's the thing, so Apple's going to try to probably compete that to make it a home device.
I think Sam has this great bit about robots. I think Apple is going to move into the iRobot, and that'll be like your iWife.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah.
For real.
What's
your bit about that? Remind me. You don't have to say it, but just what's it about?
On the air. It's about how technology is scary because we're getting. It's like combined with sex. Like we're getting sex robots, right? But we're getting sex robots before we're getting regular robots.
Oh, right.
Which is weird.
That is unusual. Yeah. It just shows where our society is. Like that's more important. That'll sell more. Sex robots.
So can I give an opinion on sex robots really quickly?
Tell this guy right here, Sam.
Okay. I never.
He's clearly done the research.
Yeah, no, I've don't own one, but like
you said you don't. I don't own one. You said you don't own one. Right?
I do not own.
Just want to make sure we got that clear.
Yeah, I do not own one, but it is a funny philosophy I have. I feel like only people that want to buy the sex robots are people that can't get sex from ordinary people. Probably like less attractive or heavier set people. So I just feel like it'll be less of them.
Or they just got no game.
Yeah, or whatever. And they would just stay in the house while we all go out and meet other girls because they would just give up.
Oh, so you're saying that makes it easier for us, right?
I think it should make it easier for
the regular man.
It'll be
but
like very like Darwinian, where like those
evolution
breed of people just die off unless we can find a way to get a robot pregnant.
Maybe if we could do artificial insemination, why can't we get a robot?
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Put like a petri dish up in her, whatever.
Yeah, in her hoo-ha.
Her electric box.
Yeah, but in Alexa's electric box.
Going off that thought though, when you have the bad, it makes the good look good. So
wait, what did you just say?
It's like when you have those people that would stay inside, out, and then it kind of makes the good people look good. When you don't have them, like if they're not outside and they're just staying at home,
they stay home.
It's like all the good are good. It's like it's more plain.
So what he's saying is he looks at girls that only look cute when they're next to an ugly person. I look at girls that either cute whether they standing by themselves or whether they standing next to an ugly person.
You're an equal opportunity cute girl.
Exactly.
I was trying to say that in a much nicer way.
Yeah, right.
So Sam. In the event that sex robots can get pregnant, when are you going to be buying one?
Oh no, I don't want to bitch. It's the worst part about having sex with people. So they can't get. I don't want to. No, mine's going to be on the. I do want one, but I'm going to force her to take birth control, robot birth control.
Oh, robot birth control. Got it. Okay.
So tire tubes.
Tires.
Tire wires.
Tire wires. That's a
tire wires.
Tire wires.
Tire wires. All right. So Jony Ive is leaving. He's starting his own firm, Love Firm. And so anyway, the robots he's going to make will probably.
Anyway.
You love what?
Gently.
You love gently? Yeah, instead of Love Firm, Love Gently. So yeah, but I think he'll be making the robots, and they'll probably be very beautiful, and Apple will be buying them from him, or at least engaging him to design those.
You really think so? That like Apple will start making, or is that like a? I think they would have more like, not respect, but like they have like an image.
Social conscious.
Sure.
Yeah. Maybe not sex robots, but regular robots, right?
Yeah, but what would you use a regular robot for? To like get shit out of the refrigerator or whatever?
I mean, if they're having drones right now drop off Amazon packages, and they're having Alexa do all sorts of like turn on the lights, turn off the lights.
Yeah, but
it seems like we're evolving.
It seems like we're evolving.
It seems like we're evolving to a highly artificial intelligence trained robot that can literally do a whole lot of tasks. Like, hey, go get me
a light on top of my Roomba. It does the same thing.
So I think they will be doing crazy stuff.
So do you think that it's like outsourcing one responsibility or one thing that Apple wants, and then allows them to kind of focus on other stuff. Then, right?
Exactly.
Like the services you were talking about.
They become a service company thinking about how to program the robot, and they're like, "Yo, you just designed the thing, but we got to figure out what services to sell with this robot. A monthly subscription for your, Alexa or whatever, So I think this is a good sign for Apple. The dude doesn't need to be there. He's too powerful, too big. He was getting paid lots of money. I mean, by the end of it, they said he made $130 million at Apple.
Deserves it.
Right? He deserves a penny.
A year?
What? No, I think in total. Actually, I don't. I think in total.
Yeah, that's probably right. Because stock options.
Exactly. Moving on. All right. So what's going on with the economy? So, the big news is interest rates. The 10-year Treasury note, which nobody should really care about what that is, but basically interest rates that determine your credit card debt, your mortgage rate, your car interest rate, your I think I got most of them, student debt rate, whatever. So interest rates are at the lowest level in 2.5 years. Mm-hmm. Everyone's been expecting rates to actually go higher because the Fed has been pumping economic morphine into the economy. But the exact opposite has been happening.
What do you mean by that?
Well, so
economic morphine.
All right, so the way the world works in America, we all operate on debt. Maybe not at, at individual levels too. People run up credit. People run up credit cards a lot, right? People run up credit cards a lot. People get a mortgage. People get a car and they get a loan on that car, and so on and so forth. So my point is, the way to get people to get more shit, get more mortgages and cars and credit cards, is to make interest rates lower. Because if you get a house and the interest rate is 5%, your monthly payment is going to be more expensive than if the interest rate is 3%. Right?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Hundreds of thousands. You can suddenly buy a bigger home if the interest rate drops just 1%.
Huge. Yeah.
So what the Fed does in order to get people buying shit and get the economy moving is they will lower interest rates intentionally to get people excited and buying more shit since rates are lower, a.k.a. giving morphine to the economy and getting it hopped up on drugs.
That's a great analogy, yeah.
That's exactly what they do, man. Yeah. That's what our Federal Reserve, that's what our country does. They see Trump doing all sorts of stupid shit with trade war. He started this big-ass trade war with China, and they're like, we might have to cut rates because there's a lot of uncertainty in the economy. Everyone's freaking out. And so that's a big piece of information because, if you're an investor, if you're smart, now's the time to be borrowing money to buy assets. For example, if you want to buy a $100,000 property and try and make some rent off of that from someone, you only have to put down 10 or 20 grand. They'll lend you 80 grand and you'll be paying, 3% for a mortgage rate. Nowhere in the world can you borrow $80,000 at 3% and own a 6-flat condo or a 6-unit apartment building. So my thing is, do it. What do you think, Cofield?
So when interest rates goes down, it's a sign to buy, right? Whether you're going to be a consumer and buy shit you don't need,
right,
or you're going to be an investor and buy things that can bring you more money. Lowering interest rates is a buy signal across the board. So it also means that parking your money in bank accounts is something you probably won't do, right?
Right. Why would you get a CD?
Exactly.
They're not going to pay you anything.
Exactly.
So you're smarter to buy stocks or real estate or something else.
So to my point, exactly, when interest rates go down, asset values tend to go up because people are putting their money there because they don't want to keep it in cash.
Right. Yeah. Right. You get that, Sam? Don't bullshit me.
No, I was thinking about.
What were you thinking about?
Just
sex robots.
Sex robots.
Yeah, I was about to say, man, that's sex robots. Threw them off as soon as.
I know. Yeah. You literally got her wires crossed.
So here you go. If when interest rates go down, you have more money to borrow to buy sex robots. So if you keep it there, keep it landing there, he'll stay attentive. Yeah.
That's fun.
So you go charge a sex robot onto your Discover card.
I have like a weird disease where I only understand things in terms of sex
robots.
That's just the unit
of measurement.
Unit of measurement. No, not meters, not inches.
Right.
Sex
Walking
robots.
in Starbucks is this 2/3 of a sex robot for a cup of coffee? That's
0.01% of a
sex robot.
All right. So that's interest rates. Now, Trump is meeting with President Xi Jinping of China.
Xi Jinping.
Yeah, at the G20. You like saying his name, don't you?
Xi Jinping.
Yeah. Do you feel Chinese when you say it?
No, no.
Okay. So Trump will be meeting with Xi at the G20 in hopes of resolving this trade war. But, the Chinese are not stupid. They know who Trump is. They know what they're dealing with. I don't think they're going to make a deal with him in any way whatsoever. If we get a deal, you'll see stocks jump tomorrow morning, or I guess Monday morning. But this gets released Monday, so you'll probably see them jump Monday or Tuesday. However, I don't think that's what's going to happen. Or if it does, it's a fake. It's a head fake. I don't think it's legit. I think that China knows what's going on here. I think they know that the U.S. is trying to drag China down so that the U.S. can be the main power. But China is like, they're just on a mission to be the number one power. Mm-hmm. And so any agreement that they make with Trump, I mean, I don't know, first of all, if they make the agreement, I don't know if they'll hold to it. I really don't think they will. And that's if they make an agreement. And I don't think they're going to make an agreement. I think they're on their own shit. Like, we don't need you. I've even heard some shit that they're starting to, like, send goods to Vietnam, like Chinese-made goods. And then Vietnam sends them to the U.S. so that they can avoid the whole tax tariff situation.
Put a middleman in place, like
a middleman. Yeah,
Vietnam's
the middleman.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know,
they get a cut.
Yeah, they get a cut. So anyway, that's what's up with interest rates. Now, as part of all this, Sam, where are you looking?
I don't know. I was thinking about that because it seems like everything, like if you make it hard for like one group of people, especially like an entire country. This is what like America does a lot. You just find a loophole around some shit.
Yeah.
Right. To like whatever. So is like anything actually going to work at all, or is it just
loopholes
more
after
money?
Loopholes after loopholes.
Yeah.
Maybe
everyone will just find a
loophole. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. Absolutely. There's another loophole which is more complicated, but it has to do with China's currency. They use the renminbi. That's the name of or the yuan. That's the shorter. They use the yuan. That's like their dollar, and they're able to manipulate their currency in such a way where it makes the tariff go away. So they don't have to pay the tax. They can weaken their currency in such a way where when Chinese manufacturers get dollars because they sold some shit, they'll convert them to yuan in a way where they still get their same amount of money. Did that make any sense?
No,
it's tricky. Did you get it?
I got it, but I mean,
it's very tricky.
Yeah, it's
so basically Chinese manufacturers who make iPhones, when they sell the iPhone for $1,000, they'll get $1,000 from an American. When you bought your phone, think about it this way: you sent $1,000 to China. This is an exaggeration. This is not actually what happens, but just think about it this way.
Okay.
So you send $1,000 to Xi Jinping. Let's say he's the manufacturer. All right, the president. He takes his $1,000. He can't do anything with dollars. If he wants to go buy bread and milk in China, he needs yuan. You with me?
Yeah.
So he has to convert those $1,000 into yuan.
You want bread and milk?
Xi wants bread and milk. Hell yeah. What he does is what the country can do is they can adjust the exchange rate in such a way where instead of him getting, for example, 1,000 yuan for $1,000, he can actually get 1,100 yuan for $1,000. They can play with the interest rate. And so then they're like, even if the U.S. is taxing us, we're just going to get more. We're just going to adjust the interest rate
to cover the spread of the tariff.
Adjust the exchange rate to cover the spread of the tariff. Exactly. Did you get that?
Yeah.
Yahia?
I feel like I'm part of the way there, but I'm not fully there.
It's fine.
What? Ask a question. What do you got?
Talking.
On that note, let's move the hell on. All right. So now what's been happening with interest rates going down? Interest rates are going down because everyone's worried we're going to go to a recession pretty quickly. All right. Now, as everyone's been watching the Fed possibly get ready to put more morphine into our economy, Bitcoin has been going up. And there's different stories around why Bitcoin has been going up. One of the reasons is Libra, the Facebook cryptocurrency. Have you heard of Libra, Sam?
No, I am a Libra.
You're a Libra? Mm-hmm. What is a Libra? I don't know. What's your horoscope?
I don't know.
I'm a Leo.
Me too.
You're a Leo?
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
July 25th.
Ooh, I'm 29th.
Wow, I just made it. Well, we just made it.
Yeah. I'm born 1980.
91.
Damn, I'm 11 years on you.
Yeah. You still look better than me though. So that's fine.
I don't know, man. With those tats and muscles, shit. You walked in, I'm like, this dude's got a master's in accounting. Why the hell am I so
With
scared
an
of him?
Illuminati
Right now?
necklace?
That's an Illuminati necklace.
That's the Eye of Horus. It means like good luck and stuff.
Wait, is it Illuminati
Yeah,
necklace?
It's an Egyptian.
It's
I don't know. I'm
it's
just
a-
messing with you. I just saw the triangle.
But people say the same thing all the time.
Illuminati.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
You're not part of the Illuminati.
I don't think so.
If you were, would you tell
He
us?
wouldn't say it. That's what
I
I'm
think I could if I was.
Right.
So
I
now
ended
we're
up
at a
doing
standstill, right?
cocaine with the Freemason on Monday night. That
You-
was
you
weird.
did?
Yeah, I was trying to get him to tell me his secrets. I couldn't get anything out of him.
You
But
had
I was
to-
holding
you
him hostage,
clearly had
tied
to-
him to a chair.
Did you really?
Forcing.
You must have had the wrong cocaine. You need to give him something else.
The
to
wrong-
get the secrets
yeah,
out.
Should have been
yeah.
like, you wanna tell me these secrets? Or
Yeah,
not?
that's hey.
You want?
And it comes back. And it comes back.
All right, so Bitcoin is. I think it topped out at like $13,000.
It was like 13.5, dude.
13.5? Is that what you saw?
I think that's what I saw. It was like
Damn.
yesterday at like 3 o'clock. I was like,
Wow. There you go. So yeah, I mean, Libra, I'm sure that's having an impact. But I think the real thing that's going on is, investors out there in the world have choices on where they want to invest their money. Mm-hmm. And when they look at Bitcoin as kind of this alternative currency for the global economy that has no Federal Reserve pumping morphine into it, I think people are like, yo, I'm going to put a little bit of money into Bitcoin because I think that makes more sense right now, given what the Fed's trying to do with the United States. The more the Fed puts morphine into our economy, the more, I mean, think about a drug abuser. But eventually they fucking OD and they die. That's the same thing with our economy.
Unless you're good at it.
Unless you're good,
Unless you're
at,
good
it,
at it.
Which the Fed, I'm not going to lie, the Fed is pretty good at pumping drugs.
Just the right amount.
Just the right amount. Yeah,
Yeah,
they've
no.
gotten good. They have a whole research department that studies how much they need to pump into the economy before you hear, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, Libra. But I think what's really happening with Bitcoin is it's currency. It's the it's like if shit's gonna hit the fan, I'd rather be in Bitcoin than in U.S. stocks.
Really though, like if shit hits the fan, like really hits the fan,
Like
there's
2008,
no-
the way it did in 2008, the
I just-
economy
I
was
just
brought
mean,
to its
like,
knees.
Okay, yeah.
So go ahead. When you
Well, as you're talking about like collapse of society, like Bitcoin's not going to help you then. But I guess like a minor crash,
Hold on.
things will be fine.
let's
If we lose like the whatever the electric grid or whatever people
Right.
are talking about, then it would be nothing.
right. If we lose electric grid, that's a different story. That's like a act of war of some sort because we would probably lose our electric grid not for our own reasons, but because someone has attacked.
Sure, maybe
Hostility.
There's like a specific type of solar flare too, where you can just wipe it all out. But
Oh,
yeah.
possibly
Yeah,
natural
yeah.
disaster.
Like the Man in Black thing where you just like flash them and then you can't see anymore.
There you go. Like that.
That'd be great. That would be such a cool thing to have.
I'm sure it exists.
I would just be
It's gotta
honest with
exist.
people.
So if you had it, what would you do? Like,
I would just
I
tell
give it to you
people
for an
what I
hour.
genuinely think about them,
I know
just
what
to
you
watch
do.
the reaction on their face, and then you go, ding.
Don't you do that anyway, though?
Yeah, but I would like the ability to have them not remember.
And then
The
do it
awful
again,
shit I
and then
say.
do it again, and then erase, and then do it again.
Yeah, I just never. I keep them in a constant state of. That's torture.
It is torture.
Yeah, we torture people basically.
Yeah, which you basically do now with
Mm-hmm.
your comedy.
In my comedy, yeah, people have described. I kind of do a Guantanamo Bay style comedy. Is how I.
And what exactly is that? You grow your beard and you.
Yeah, I grow my beard and then I just play, Enter Sandman, that song on very loud for a while. I use that song to torture people. You know that? That's great.
Oh, no
You
shit?
just play it like super loud.
Is
like
that Metallica?
24/7. Yeah.
Enter.
Yeah, that one.
Off to never,
Weird. Anyway,
never
yeah.
land. That scared the shit out of me when I heard that verse. So I think that's what's going on with Bitcoin, and I think that it's tied to the markets in that way. So what does that mean about Bitcoin? I do think it's probably going to keep going up. It's just a dangerous investment if you're.
It's riskier, right? than most.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the reward could potentially be
Absolutely.
a lot.
That's how life works. Higher risk, higher reward.
Yeah.
You took the risk of being a stand-up comedian. The reward could be huge if you make it out
And
alive.
the failure desolate and miserable.
No,
Yeah.
you'll just be working at a call center much of your life.
Desperate and miserable.
Making the people around you laugh, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's a good time.
Making the people you call laugh.
And I think the reason why so I do agree it's probably the currency. Like any young hip, whatever says to Trump, fuck the economy, they can and I stop cursing. They can just invest in Bitcoin. And I think the biggest thing is the ease of use it is. Like you can do it from your phone in like 30 seconds.
Right.
You can't. So it used to be a real estate or in stock market is what you do.
Two investments, real estate or stock market.
Now you have digital currency, which you can buy from the bedroom of your literally. Like, as soon as Trump says something to make you mad, you can like pull your money out of whatever your brokerage is and literally get it over to.
Do you think people do that?
I think
President Trump
emotional people do that. Yeah, which is
really?
emotional.
I'm gonna take my $10 million out of Apple stock and put it into Bitcoin.
Right, and that's I would not recommend anybody make investing decisions.
I want to meet that douchebag who does that.
Give me my money back. Yeah.
$10 million into Bitcoin. That's gonna be Sam one day when you're a successful comedian.
$10 million, and just buy it in reckless shit. Yeah. Invest in stock that doesn't exist.
I wonder if Louis C.K. does that with his millions.
Invest in trans surgery stock.
That's
a terrible thing to say. All right.
Why is that one so bad?
I don't want to explain it.
I don't think it's that bad. Just invest in trans surgery stock.
You'll be big in like Thailand, like that.
Yeah.
Huge.
Do they have surgery because they get the lady boys? I think they just naturally have feminine men over there.
It's scary out there, man.
I don't know much about that, to be honest.
It's like a minefield.
No,
it's like
I was
Minesweeper on your
there.
thing, but instead of a little bomb, it's a cock.
You can't tell. Like, I'm so
Have you been out to Thailand?
Yeah, I just got back. And
Oh, you did?
Oh, man.
Where'd you go?
Bangkok? Bangkok. Started in Bangkok. Phuket,
No pun intended?
PP, yeah, all that stuff.
Phuket,
Yeah, Bangkok you can tell. So Bangkok's like Vegas. You can tell like fake faces with like surgery. So I could compare that, right? But like anywhere outside of Bangkok, you literally don't know.
Really? So when you were at Phuket, you're like, I'm not sure.
I would ask, and I was like, "There's no way," and then they would show me like ID, and I'm like, "Okay,
yeah, follow me.
That's crazy.
I need you to follow me."
So are the women gross, or are just the dudes hot as f***? Like which one?
So
is
here,
it,
no, seriously,
like in the middle.
So seriously, here's what happens. They are able to make a decision at a young age, like 7, 8, or 9, that they want to not be a boy anymore.
Oh,
sure,
man.
and if you start hormones.
Yeah, you start taking estrogen before puberty hits.
Oh my god,
you can shift everything, facial features. So that's the biggest difference.
I think that's going to start happening here in the U.S. soon. If it's not already happening, if it's not already happening, right?
I don't know on that scale, but I mean there's some stories and stuff.
When you see a kid in your classroom in grammar school doing it, that's what makes it like a trend. Hey, I want to do that too.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's not like that over here. So.
It's not that like that yet. Although I will say this, I did some work at a school once before.
Yeah. You heard it here first. That trans people are a fad. And
signing up next.
Worse. All right, let's do it.
I did once do some work at a school. This is a completely serious story. I won't give too many details. But I was telling one
Just
student.
To be clear, it said fad, FAD. Anyway.
Yeah, thank you. I was kind of doing improv with some younger kids who were 7, 8, 9 years old. I think they were second graders, and I referred to one student as her. And the student came up to me.
Wait, what situation were you doing improv?
I don't want to give too many details. I was at a school.
He can't speak.
I was asked to come to a school to do improv.
He was there with a bunch of children.
Yeah, and I was doing it with the kids.
More information besides that.
Yeah. How do I? Maybe I can say that. Actually, I will say this. I will say this. I was invited to a Jewish school. As a Palestinian.
Yeah, enemy territory.
Enemy territory. They basically said, look, our kids are going out into the world. Completely oblivious to like they just think pro Israel, but that's not the reality of the world. There's so many different opinions. We want them to hear from a Palestinian. I'm like, okay, cool. I'd love to come and talk to the kids about my life experience and just educate them. And I was like, can I do it through comedy? I do improv. Like, love it. So I go in, I do improv, so on and so forth. And I refer while we're playing improv, I referred to one student as her, bring her along or play with her or something. And I did it twice. And the student came up to me and tugged on my shirt.
Actually, it's a Jew broad, so.
That's not what she said.
I know. All right.
We will make sure we edit that out.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And so the student's like, I'm actually a he, not a her. I'm a him, not a her. I'm like, oh. It was the first time that ever happened to me in my life. I'm like, oh, thank you for telling me. I'll adjust.
Well, it was a literal female, though. You don't know?
It appeared to me.
Okay.
The student appeared to me as a girl, but I was mistaken. I was mistaken, you know. So that happened to me, yeah. And I didn't understand it. I learned a little more about it afterwards by talking to some people. And I just had to, in that moment, and today, respect that people have choices.
Yeah.
And who the hell am I to impose any of my beliefs on their choices?
Yeah, whatever it is, you just
embrace.
Like people, like, you're a person.
Exactly.
Just be kind to people.
Absolutely.
Really
We have enough jerks in the world, right?
Yeah.
So back to Bitcoin. How we got into transgender.
Yeah.
But back to Bitcoin. So I think that's what's going on, and I do think there's a dude out there who says, "Yeah, F Trump, I'm going to put 10 million in Bitcoin," and it's happening. We're seeing it.
That's exciting, man. Do you think it's sustainable? Do you think it's going to last, Bitcoin?
I think so, but it's kind of like the internet.
Yeah.
How in 2000 everyone was like, "Oh, the internet is going to change the world," and it was like, no. That's why it's a bubble and it exploded.
It did change the world.
Well, hold on. Now we're starting to see it in 2015, 16, 17, 18, have more massive changes. It took 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's the same thing. I think you got to put a little bit in your account. So let's say you have $5,000 in a investment account.
Yeah.
I think you should.
Things, right? It'll only work if people have faith that it's going to work.
Correct.
So it's like we're really,
And I think we're moving towards a world of where people have faith in that more than they have in the Federal Reserve.
The government's really not cool with that, right? Because they really
Absolutely
can't.
But that's
not.
the whole point.
They lose control. They have no control.
That's the.
They can't make it illegal. You don't think they'll pass any?
China did outlaw the use of Bitcoin. However, because it's successfully anonymous.
Yeah.
And it's immutable, meaning like it is rock solid, meaning blockchain, really. Blockchain, the software, the technology behind Bitcoin is called blockchain. Because that is so, ironclad, it's hard. I think it's going to be hard for China to implement that perfectly. They will implement it. They will find out who's using Bitcoin, but ultimately, I think it's just like everything else, man. Like, over time, regimes change, governments change, and Bitcoin will stay around, in my opinion. So my opinion is this. I think it's sustainable, Sam. If you have a $5,000 investment portfolio, I'd say, put $250 in Bitcoin, tuck it in the back of your investment account, forget about it for the next 20 years. It could be worth $250,000. Your $250 could be worth $250,000 in 20 years. Yeah, that's what I say.
I have a buddy that would be
but don't put all 5,000. What's that?
He bought something with Bitcoin in like 20. I don't know. Maybe it was like 10 or so. A little bit before, and then now he's like have $1 million basically.
You have a friend who's done this?
Well, he doesn't have $1 million. He spent it on a thing, but the amount of Bitcoin, if he saves it, would be like.
You have to use it. Back in the day, you had to use it to buy something like. Black market, you have to convert your money to Bitcoin to go buy something.
Right.
So a lot of people became millionaires because they forgot it was in their account.
Right.
But my only advice when it comes to digital currency is like, hey, if you have a choice to take money to Vegas and go try to gamble or put it in Bitcoin, I think that's.
There you go. I love how you put that.
As a simple analogy. If you're gonna go blow it anyway by going and spending $600 on bottle service, like there's probably other better place. So
there you go, Sam. Stop going to. All those nightclubs and doing bottle service, and put it in Bitcoin instead.
Okay.
That's Sam's big on bottle service.
Real big on bottle service.
He gets all the hot waitresses with like the Dom Perignon with the candles coming out and the sparklers, and they all dance around Sam while he's in the middle,
just by himself.
Just by
him and a few
frowning like a little boy. Just drinking alone, crying.
Kiss me, girls.
Leaving voicemails to ex-girlfriends. I made it.
Wants to go home, watch his gay porn.
Yeah. Not happy with it.
Whoa.
No, he just does that at the nightclub. Pull out his laptop with all these bottles. It just all the waitresses around him like watching it with him.
They're rubbing my back. It's okay, pal. I'm
Stroking your hair a little bit.
Yeah, they just kind of hold me.
Let me
for
get you
a
another
while.
sparkler.
So I back to the Bitcoin thing. I feel like it definitely will take off, and I only say that because I feel like a lot of the kids nowadays think it's like something cool, and like they've heard about it as kids. Like I definitely heard about it when I was a child.
Yep.
And I think when they become of age where they actually have their own jobs, I feel like they're probably much more willing to convert to Bitcoin.
Absolutely.
And invest
You're
in
right.
that. Whereas
Great
the people
point.
like nowadays, like the adults now, they've been so hardwired with like what normal cash what we have now, and they're probably more hesitant of going to Bitcoin. And so
I think you're right.
I feel like my generation, once they get older, or maybe people even younger than me, once they get to that age where they have their own jobs, Bitcoin will take off. Like
full agreement.
100%.
It's a great insight, man. That's another reason to tuck some in the back of your portfolio. Like
especially
it's gonna be normal for people like or people who are like growing up right now. It's gonna be normal in 10 years. Like Bitcoin, I was born and Bitcoin was already around.
Yeah, especially because like kids my age, people my age and younger, like they're so into like the like streaming like world of like digital media.
Yep.
And like just like donating to people or like and then just like learning about Bitcoin and all that stuff. I feel like just because they've been introduced to it at such a young age, they'll be much more comfortable with it later on.
Full agreement.
Yeah.
Full agreement. So there you go. There's some Bitcoin. There's something called Dogecoin. Have you guys heard of that?
No.
Yes.
You have heard of Dogecoin?
have.
Can you describe what it is?
I don't know. I just heard of it.
It was created as kind of a humorous currency.
That's all I know.
You know? Yeah. People were using it. So it was a couple dudes created
the meme,
it.
right?
Uh-huh.
There's a Dogecoin meme.
I don't.
It's like
look at
Doge
memes.
is a dog. It's like a dog meme, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a dog meme that got popular, but then that became the
image this.
for Dogecoin,
Huh.
and people were starting to use Dogecoin. Like if somebody,
Oh
there
yeah,
it is.
yeah. I've seen
Can you show
that
it to the camera,
around.
Yahia?
I don't understand.
This
'cause
meme?
It's just like
Yeah. There you go.
That's not a meme. That's a picture.
It's more a
Yeah,
picture.
but it's like
than-
a lot of
Made
times
it
it's like there's a meme
Sure.
with it, like
Right.
like this
Yeah.
would be a meme. But
It was used. So
that
when
face win, whatever.
when someone
such
would
love, much
so-
amount, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
when
Mhm.
someone would have a cool social media post that like would make a person chuckle, or it'd be like, oh, that's smart. They would send the person some Dogecoin, like some money, like thanks for having that cool social media post, that funny media,
Yeah.
post, And so Dogecoin was used for that for a while. From what I understood, though, it ended up collapsing. I don't know if it's still around. I don't know
Because
the truth.
comedy is dead, or because no one's funny.
Because comedy will never die. Hopefully,
Yeah.
no. As long as Sam Prickett's a comedian, comedy's alive.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm the only one keeping it alive. The only real one.
All right, let's move on from coins and business news to Cofield. What's up, Cofield Advisors?
What's going on, man?
So you have a cool story. So you got the academic stuff down. That gives you a lot of credibility. You worked your ass off to basically achieve certain educational levels. That's the big thing. It's more than I've done. And you additionally worked in the world of accounting, but also in the world of hedge funds.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you worked at Northern Trust for a while, and so you did the whole corporate thing, and you felt it, and you touched it, and you're like, man, I don't know if this is for me. Right?
I knew it wasn't for me.
You knew it
I
was.
just didn't know.
How were you so clear?
It just wasn't like freeing. So like the biggest thing is like, in corporate America, like people don't like being there. Like most people hate their Monday through Friday.
Now I'm raising my hand, dude.
That's
yeah.
why they go so crazy on the weekends. So you go to work Monday, it's like, hey, how was your weekend? Tuesday's like, I remember that story.
They go
Wednesday's
bananas
like,
on the weekend, right? Have you
Wednesday's
seen
like,
this in River North, man? Everyone's just wasted.
yeah, because they're drowning themselves in their Monday through Friday. So for me, I knew that I didn't want to hate 70% of my days while I had on this planet. I just didn't know what I wanted to do. So.
Right. That sounds like my story too, man. I did it for 10 years, and I was like, yeah, I need to let go on the weekends,
Yeah.
All right, so then you're like, all right, and you had told me something earlier, which was like you almost have like a personal mission or a moral mission, which is like, yo, I need to be in touch with individual human beings more than I need to be distant from helping individual human beings. I feel like in the world of high finance, you're often like at an institutional level, helping corporations make a whole lot of money, but it doesn't really do anything for your soul. Is that true?
Just removed from humanity. You're just kind of
You're like just a peek into. You're behind a computer. You're making wealthy people a lot more wealthy.
Yeah.
Which is like whatever. You're doing your job.
Sure.
Right? But it doesn't do anything for people you know.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't hang out with wealthy people when I was like working, unfortunately. But yeah,
You weren't rubbing shoulders with Bill
Gates and Warren
Gates,
Buffett.
yeah.
They weren't in my immediate circle.
Everyone, 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, it just wasn't fulfilling to me. So,
Yeah, I got you. All right, so given that, right? We understand now why you're doing what you're doing, right? You are basically a financial planner and business advisor to millennials who are entrepreneurs. Some are affluent, some maybe not. You provide services to both of them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, a couple things we want to plug right off the bat for you. So you have created a financial e-course online, right?
Yep.
What's the website for that?
So it's moneymastercourse.com. And the premise behind making this, again, it's moneymastercourse.com. The premise behind making this is that people are lazy. All the information financial information you want to know about is on the internet. You just have to go search for it. So what we did is make a completely animated visual audio course that's like about an hour that will give you enough knowledge to be smarter than the average investor.
Okay. Right. So you pull all the information together in one place that makes
place.
it more interesting, less dry.
Exactly.
That's kind of why I do this podcast.
No, and that's why I respected it so much, right? We did voiceovers, we make some stuff funny. It's funny animations, because we know people have it. The average person has a attention span of about 7 seconds.
Damn.
So
Sam, isn't yours even lower than that?
Yeah, mine's I think literally 0.
Zero.
Just moment to moment, man.
In the moment, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Hippie Woodstock.
But yeah, so I wanted to create.
You're just saying things. Yeah, the tasseled coats and suede.
And throw the.
But yeah, create a place where they can get the knowledge really quickly given to them in like an hour. So
Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's the course, and then you run Cofield Advisors. You and a team of other, I guess, financial advisors. You run Cofield Advisors.
Yep.
All right, so tell me about what that firm does specifically. I gave the general about, financial planner and business advisor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Cofield Advisors, I like to say, is where entrepreneurs can get their business advisor, financial advisor, and tax accountant all in the same place. So it's like a one-stop shop. Like, hey,
One-stop shop.
Exactly.
Where if I have a business, you'll give me some coaching on that. You advise me on that. You look at my business in detail. If my business is successful, that means I'm making a lot of money for myself. You will coach me and help me set up all I need to set up on the personal finance side. And now that I'm making a bunch of money, I'm gonna have some big ass tax bills. You can hook me up with like, yo, here's how you evade taxes. Maybe that's not the right word.
That's not the right word, but yeah. Everything was perfect until you said the word evade.
You do not evade.
Yeah, but it is
efficiency.
Tax efficiency, exactly. So you said it perfectly. As the business grows, they make more money personally. As they make more money personally, they need to know what to do with that money. And since they're making more money, they have huger tax implications, which why we want to be tax efficient. And guess what? The biggest thing, like, they don't have to do all that stuff. Like, if I handle your personal and business finances, come tax time, we're just knocking out your return because we've already been doing the planning for you.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing. This is an aside. We're gonna go on a tangent for a minute.
Let's do it.
Maybe you'll understand this. Maybe you don't.
Yep.
If you don't, it's cool. We'll get it. We'll answer it later another time. But Donald Trump refuses to release his taxes. A big reason is because he probably doesn't pay any taxes. This guy is a real estate what's it called? Mogul.
Yeah.
Mogul. Thank you. He's a real estate mogul. And
what does that word mean? I hear that a lot.
Kind of like master,
guru.
maestro, guru. Okay. Yeah, there you go. So what I understand is if you do buy real estate, basically you'll make money off that real estate. For example, rent. However, even if you make $100,000 in revenue or income from your rent, from your real estate you own, you don't necessarily have to pay taxes on those $100,000 because of something called depreciation.
Exactly.
All right. So is it possible that he pays no taxes because he depreciates so much real estate each year?
Very possible. I think it's highly likely.
Highly likely.
Yeah. Because the thing is, properties depreciate over a certain amount of time, right? Which tends to be a lot of money.
All right, wait, let's go simpler. Okay, do you know what we're talking about, Sam? Depreciation?
The decreases in value.
Yeah, like a house. If you buy a house tomorrow, over a period of time, that house
will be less.
Will be worth less, potentially. The value of the land might go up, but the house itself will probably go down.
Physical structure, yeah.
Right, unless you take action and keep it.
Renovate it, yeah.
Renovate it, yeah, right. So what the government does is they say, well, if you're going to buy a piece of real estate as an asset, as an investment, you can depreciate it over time. We will let you make it an expense because you bought it for business use, for example. And if you bought it for $100,000, don't take the $100,000 as an expense all at once today. Instead, over 30 years, 27 and a half years, you can take that $100,000 as an expense over the 27 and a half years divided equally, which would be
like a loan.
So you get to write it off against your ordinary money. So just real simple, so the way the IRS sees it is like property and things decay over time, right? So they're like, okay, since your property is decaying over time, even though you're making money on it, we're gonna let you write off, in otherwise not have to recognize some of that money because we understand that your property is going down on like paper value because people are living in it and people are stepping on rocks and they decay. So that's the thought process behind it. So if Donald Trump owns a whole bunch of properties, there's a good chance that he doesn't have to pay taxes on any of the money he makes from it. Yeah.
So the $100,000 property you buy for yourself or whatever to rent it out, over 27 and a half years, you will take an expense each year of about $3,000 or $3,500. You got it? $3,500 times 27 and a half years is about $100,000.
That you have to pay?
No, you don't.
It's an
that
expense.
You don't have to pay.
It's an
Okay.
expense.
Yeah, like a write-off.
A write-off.
Exactly.
You got
Okay.
it.
So if you made 10,000, now you only have to recognize 6,500.
So yeah, if you now hold on, but
Now if you own enough properties, that
keeps happening.
It's
Sure,
bigger
yeah,
and
yeah,
bigger.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
let's keep going with this example. So the $100,000 property you buy tomorrow, Sam, $3,500 a year is an expense. If you make revenue or rent and they pay you $3,500 and you keep that in your pocket and you go and buy whatever you want, for you it's probably whiskey and cigarettes.
Porn.
And Pornhub, yeah, pay your Pornhub.
buy, it's free. That's why that's the best thing.
So if you make $3,500, you actually won't pay tax on that $3,500 that year at all, because you'll have an expense of $3,500, at which point the $3,500 in rent you collected is reduced to zero because you had a $3,500 expense in depreciation. Did that make sense?
Yeah, you're living free, basically.
You're paying zero taxes.
Yeah.
Sure,
That's
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right? Did I get that right?
No, that's 100% right.
So
Okay,
yeah,
that
that's
makes
a
sense.
more reason, obviously, depreciation, how this country's set up, is more reason to borrow $80,000 and buy a piece of real estate so you can depreciate it each year.
Perfect. I mean, like
right?
and that's why wealthy people don't pay taxes, right? Like, because they know a lot, right? Like, they know that most ordinary people don't know that.
They know how the government laws are set up, and they're set up in a way to make rich people very rich, even richer.
See, I feel like I hate that connotation because
I know.
it's like a victim mindset.
It's a victim mindset, I know.
It makes people that are looking to seek information more wealthy. Ordinary
That's
person
the clean way to say
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
However, I do think I'm not saying this country's bad. I'm just saying it's set up in such a way
Oh yeah.
where wealthy people can stay wealthy or get wealthier if that wealthy person understands how the government works. And guess who knows how the government works? Anyone in government. You know? So that's the reality. Those laws continue to get passed and get put in place. That's why I'm always telling people, like, yo, get in the game. The shit's set up this way. It's rigged. You got to get in the game. You're hurting yourself if you're like, no, evil money's evil. Don't do that shit. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
You know? What?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
No, those are the same people that like play Grand Theft Auto, but too good to use the cheat codes. Like, back, it's like, yo, you can be like, I'm giving you the cheat codes, bro. Like, use them.
Yeah,
Like,
you're a purist in a thing that doesn't matter at all. It has
exactly.
no-
Like, I want
yeah.
to beat this game with pride and dignity
Sure,
while I'm
yeah.
over here getting my 5 stars reduced in 30 seconds. Yeah.
Dude, I love that metaphor, giving you the cheat codes. That's what this podcast is trying to do. That's what Cofield Advisors are trying to do. We're trying to give you the cheat codes. Take them. Damn it, take them. All right, so let's keep going. So millennials, you work with millennials a lot, it sounds like. You're helping them figure out their money situation. All right, now I thought about, let's tell millennials what we think based on all the millennials we talk to and we see. Let's talk about what we think their strengths and weaknesses are, given we work with them so much or talk to them so much,
okay.
right? So I'm going to start, and let's see what you want to add to it. I experience millennials as super conscious, especially around diversity, ethnic, and being, race-related stuff. I see them conscious about their own privilege, not just white privilege, but other privileges that exist. I like economic privilege or educational privilege or whatnot. I think that's really good that they have this consciousness that makes them strong, and I think that makes our world, our country, a better place because of their awareness. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Any other things you would add to that from a strength perspective?
Yeah, I feel like millennials have more power over their income than ever before.
Okay.
In my opinion, it's like never been easier to make money.
In what way do they have more power?
They have options, right? Like, you can go drive Uber and make $70,000 a year if you want to.
Wow,
right?
is that right?
No, I know a lot of people that do that easily, right? You can make money off Instagram. You can like open a digital store tomorrow and Sam can sell like his porn videos and make income,
man.
right?
Homemade?
Homemade.
And be his own, so I feel like their
That's
strength
legit,
is
huh?
like they can do whatever they want
Wow.
and make money. And I think that's a huge strength.
Yeah, so they don't only have to go work at Procter & Gamble or Allstate Insurance or whatever.
Yeah, for 40 years at the
for
factory.
40 years,
Yeah.
at the factory for 40 years and get their 401k set up and their pension and all that stuff. No, they don't. Many are not doing that anymore. They have more power and control than that.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's a good strength too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they're also very socially conscious. Do you experience that with a lot of millennials that come to you? Are they asking you, don't just invest in the Dow Jones or S&P. Can you invest in something where I don't kill people with weapons of mass destruction or whatever?
Yeah, I have a lot of clients in the creative space, like poets, artists, like musicians, and they've came to me and said, hey, you know I want you to handle my investments. Can you just make sure I invest in only socially responsible companies? And they're like easy ways to do that. But I was really impressed. Like, oh wow, like they don't care about returns. They just care about like being socially responsible.
Yeah, this might make me a little bit less money, but I'll feel better.
I'll sleep at night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now you said poets, artists. Are you basically saying that you're Kanye's financial advisor?
Kanye switched up. He had me, but then
really?
He got with Kim. He's just switched up on me. But no,
He's using some dude in California now.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, really, those creative people like really like are just super
conscious.
Yeah.
I'm seeing that with a lot of millennials. Sam, would you agree with that? So more socially conscious?
In a way, less so another way.
Really?
We're very. No, I'm not even technically a millennial. I'm like
really?
Gen Y or something. I just missed the thing. Yeah,
Damn.
96 is when I was born. In a way, but also we're very. I don't know if it's coming from like a good place necessarily, but we are. But it's like no, I'm privileged or whatever by like recognizing you want other people to see like, oh, he's a great guy because he knows that
there's
this
a
thing.
term.
So they're using it as like a social kind of currency.
Ladder,
They're like, who's the most woke? And then
Right.
Sure.
I've seen that too.
I'm doing a woke coin now.
Woke coin.
I'm
I like
inventing woke coin.
that. You know what that's called? I think there's a term for it. I've heard Joe Rogan use it. I like Joe Rogan. Virtue signaling.
Yes,
Have you heard that term?
For that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he
Never
didn't
heard
make
of that
it.
before.
Yeah,
Never.
you're trying to signal to others that you're a virtuous person.
Yes.
Which is kind of vain if you think about it. I mean,
No, it's extremely vain.
it's not
yeah,
virtuous.
and it's not because the whole thing is like I don't know, but it seems like if most of it is about like intention, like if your
Right.
heart's in the right place, but if your
Exactly.
intention to like make change is to so other people think you're like a good person instead of you actually doing it
question
because
mark,
you know
yeah.
it's a
You should
weird-
really stop doing that, Sam.
yeah. No,
Yeah, Sam's the humble guy that said this, tells everybody know he's humble. Like,
Yeah,
he kind of
yeah.
kills it as soon as he says it.
All right. So now I think so. Let's talk about some weaknesses with
Okay,
millennials.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Number 1, 2001 and 2008. Even though millennials didn't cause either one,
Oh no.
they went through the 2001 internet bubble crash and the 2008 financial housing crash or the the housing crisis.
Yeah, I think not even just that they went through it, because most of them probably didn't make a lot of money during those times, but they watched their parents go through it, like watched
Right.
the devastation in their household.
Right.
And they're like, whatever happened, I want no part of it.
I want no part of it,
Like,
right?
yeah.
So, okay, Sam and Yahia are definitely younger. Do you guys remember 2001, the internet bubble exploding?
I was 5 years old now.
Okay, how about you, Yahia? Okay.
Not really.
How old were you?
2001. I was 7.
Okay. All right. How about 2008, the housing crisis, the Great Recession?
I remember that.
You do remember that?
I do remember that for sure.
How about you, Sam?
Vaguely, I don't know. I didn't really. I was fine.
Yeah. I mean, didn't affect your parents in a major way or your family?
I think they started. We were eating a lot of like white bread and bologna, but
Tuna out of a can.
I like bologna. Yeah,
Yeah,
No,
like,
it's fine.
this is fine with me.
Yeah.
Like, thanks.
Dad, you could put it in a plate. We don't have plates.
But yeah, I
Alright.
mean, even
Yeah,
I'm
just
a little
fun.
bit older than them, and like all I remember was gas was like expensive, right?
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I
It
didn't
went
really
up
like
to $4.
notice. I'm like, yo, like, what's gas so bad? Because I had a car. I'm like, dude, this sucks. Like,
Man, yeah, that's
Right.
right. Yeah.
Gas was expensive. That's right. So yeah, I think that that's a weakness of millennials is they have to deal with their mindset in the sense that they're probably anti-capitalism, anti-government, anti-stocks, anti-investments because of some of that. Do you guys feel any of that yourselves from that experience or no?
I don't feel like that at all.
Okay. You never felt anything like that, okay?
Not me personally.
he has 3 investing accounts.
I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But for the record, he's listened to almost every podcast episode
Okay,
because
fair
he's almost been on every podcast
Okay.
episode.
No, but even before that, like I knew a lot of people, particularly like people who are well off, who have a lot of investing accounts. Or, like do investing. I'm like, oh,
You
you
were
make money
aware.
through your job and then you invest it so that you can keep making money. And I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Why don't I do that? I'll start early so I can get hang
Cool.
with it.
It should
So
be
you
like a
saw
fucking
that.
billboard that says that.
Yeah, that's pretty
and
good.
that should be enough. Like, we should, like,
Sam, do you have aversion to the idea of investing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
really?
I don't know. I don't think it's any like. I don't think it's because of any reason. It's probably apathy is most of it, and just general self-destructiveness. But yeah, I mean it's interesting, you know. But I don't. Yeah, I'm just very lazy by nature.
Yeah, I can tell by the fact that
just the tone of
just
my
the way he
voice.
speaks.
you weigh 120 pounds soaking wet, which means you're trying to do as minimal walking amount as you possibly can, or just sit around. All right, now I think another weakness that you had told me about when we were talking earlier about this was the fact that they do have more control over their incomes, like Instagram influencers or whatever, is a strength, but on the flip side of that coin is a weakness, because now you actually got to be way more responsible about your money than your parents were, because they were probably in a corporate job where they got their 401k and their pension, everything set up, and they had direct deposit into their account and steady paycheck every week. No, this is different.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, one of the biggest takeaways I learned. Because when I came out, I wasn't just trying to do financial planning for, like, millennial entrepreneurs. I just wanted to do financial planning for millennials. It's like, hey, like, the financial advisory industry pretty much crapped on millennials, said they're the worst clients in the world. I want to prove that that's wrong.
Oh, is that right?
So that I had a mission when I left. I was like, I'm going to help millennials all over the place. So when I did it successfully, when I started, it was cool. But then I started noticing, like, hold on, wait, they're an entrepreneur. They're killing it, right?
Everyone's an entrepreneur.
It's crazy. So it's like literally 1 in 6 people I would sit with was like entrepreneurs. Like, wow. Damn. And then I looked over their finances. I'm like, holy crap! Like, your situation is so much more complicated than it would be if you just had a job. Right. Like, if you make $100,000 at a job, they take out taxes, they do everything. They 401k, blah blah blah. You make $100,000 self-employed, you have to save for taxes, put money away. Like,
no one's taking money out of your taxes. You got to do that for yourself.
Exactly. Like, so I was like, wow, not only are you all like, I'm proud of you, you're killing it, but you have a complicated financial situation.
Yeah, and because it's so complicated, you're probably not really killing it because there's probably a lot of inefficiencies here.
I've had
you're not paying attention.
Easily 5-figure tax bills. Like, hey, what happened?
5-figure tax bills? Like,
yeah.
5-10 grand?
Yeah, like 30, 40, 50. Like,
shit.
Like, you made $175,000 last year, didn't save any of it. No, it was just fun. I tried, but like, that tax bill stands. Like,
right. So they make the 175 grand, but then they got to pay 30 and they got to pull out of their ass.
It's 30 plus self-employment tax, which is another 15.25%. So it's average like 40 to 45. Damn. If they don't plan.
If they make 175 grand.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because you have to pay your own self-employment tax. So
all right.
Yeah.
What do these people do generally? They're like Instagram influencers or whatever.
That connotation, you don't like those?
You shook your head and you're like, you squinted your eyes like, Instagram influencer. How do you feel about Instagram influencers?
I have no feeling. I've never met one. I assume
he's jealous.
Yeah, it'd be cool. Yeah. I don't know. It seems like I don't know. I have an aversion to people that I feel like are walking advertisements for a thing.
Oh, yeah. I feel
and that's kind of how it is a little weird.
But the truth is, man, advertising is a real thing. That's how our world works, man. Marketing is a real thing. Like, that's how people, especially if a product is legit. Like, you probably really
if you like it, right? Like,
right. You probably really believe in some products, man. Like, you may not know it, but like, is there something you like can't live without? Like cigarettes
So if Pornhub
I want to be like a new Marlboro man. Just wheezing up steps.
I could see you as that. But yeah, no, wouldn't you agree? Like, there are some things that you love and you'd be like, yeah, I'd promote that. Is that true or no?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't think of it. I don't think I would.
Is there one product you really love?
No.
I don't believe you.
What? Like what?
What's product you most use most often? Food, cigarettes, alcohol.
Food, alcohol.
What's
but I don't stand behind it. It's a problem. You know what I mean? I don't want to. Other people shouldn't do it.
All right.
Everything I stand behind is detrimental to my body, so I can't promote it.
Yeah, I don't think other people should.
Man, they would love you as their marketing agent.
Oh man. But it's not just. I mean, it's like, some are influencers. A lot of them are digital marketers because they like got good at like helping companies with their digital marketing, and they got a site, and like a lot of them are like.
So they got a website, and what they basically do is they'll represent themselves as kind of a expert on something, and then Procter and Gamble or whatever.
People
Colgate
want to
toothpaste.
put their advertisements on their website because their website gets a lot of traffic.
Right. The person gets a lot of traffic to the website or whatever.
Yeah.
And or their IG influencer page.
Yeah.
And then they'll get paid for that.
Yeah.
And they get paid 50 grand, 100 grand, 200
I feel
grand.
like some affiliate programs like 50, 100 grand for a couple affiliate posts or like whatever. But it's not just influencers.
My brother-in-law works for Airbnb. He's a marketing executive at Airbnb, but he's a marketing executive on the supplier side, meaning like, well, that doesn't matter. What he basically does he's trying to get Airbnb ads, right, on Instagram influencers page or on bloggers page. They want bloggers who are getting good traffic. They want to pay them big money, right, to advertise for Airbnb.
A couple of my clients are bloggers, and they have $250,000 income from their blog pages.
Wow.
Like, so
I know what I'm doing.
no, but this is why I feel like I have to do this, because like it's not going to do anything but get better,
Right.
Because there'll be so many different ways
Well,
to
the
make
world's
money.
changing.
And
This
these
is
people are
exactly.
not like, they don't know what to do with it, or like they don't
Man,
know.
I wish so bad I needed you right now, man. I wish so bad I could hire you.
Well, when you need me, you know where to find me. Like, you know.
One day I'll make some money. All right. So give us a success story, not on the personal financial side yet. First on the business side. Obviously, keep your client confidential, but tell us like what they might have did, what they were doing, how you helped them, and what that might have how that might have changed the profit of their business.
Yeah, so I realized I need to help them with like, their business finances and do some business advisory, right? So one client, he was making good money when we met, and he wanted just help with it. But after like reviewing his business financials, which nobody, like they don't do that, right? Like they don't even know what their business finances look like. So
Wow.
I help generate their business financial report. So every quarter we have a
So
meeting.
did you set up like their QuickBooks or something?
Yeah,
like
set up
that?
their QuickBooks. I have a bookkeeper on staff. We run the bookkeeping for them because they don't want to do it, right? So every quarter we just have a 30-minute meeting. Like, hey, this is how your business did last quarter.
What do you tell them? This is the sales you had.
Yeah.
This is your expenses.
Mhm.
Here's your profit.
Here's your profit, right?
You get all that, Sam? All
Yes,
right.
it's real smooth, right? And I look at their revenue broken out by like revenue streams, like whether it's affiliate, whether it's advertising, whether it's product sales. And so the third quarter, I was like, hey man, how much time are you spending with this revenue stream? He's like 50% of my time. Like, dude, do you realize it's only 8% of your revenue? Like, dude,
You're spending so much time
What does
on
that
this.
mean on the revenues?
So let's say they make money in 3 ways. Let's say they make money in 3 ways. Let's say they make money from people put advertising on the website. Then they make money from like their podcast or whatever, and then they make money from like running like a course page, whatever, right?
Of course, yeah.
And then let's say the course that they have is only making them 10% of their revenue. Meaning they made $1,000 a month, it's only making 10.
Sure, but they're spending the most time on that. Yeah.
100, right.
Yeah, they're spending so much time
Right.
on that.
So I asked him, like, dude, how much are you spending on this part of your business? Like, dude, like 50% of my time. I said, do you realize it's only like 8% of your income, or of your entire revenue? He was like, no. I said, dude, do you like it? Not really, but I started. I'm like, dude, let it go. Focus time everywhere else.
Right.
And we dropped it.
On the higher, focus your time on the higher profit
Exactly.
businesses.
So now we can see the rest. And then that next quarter, his revenue went up 40%.
Damn.
In a quarter.
Wow.
Damn.
In a quarter.
That's a big deal.
You know, but he didn't know what he didn't know, right? He didn't know that he was wasting a lot of his
You
time.
brought in the flashlight. You're like, you got to look here in this corner, man. You're not looking here.
And he did it. Now he's happy and he's making more money. I'm like, he's like, dude, like, you never leave me. I was like, thanks.
Now, he's got to give you some of that 40%, right?
No, so I don't charge off that. I charge like a flat fee.
Really?
But based off your revenue. So as the more money you make, the more I charge you.
Because it's more work.
And you wanted me to be incentivized to make you more money.
Correct.
And it becomes more work, right?
Right. Okay.
Wait, wouldn't a flat fee based on your revenue be a percentage?
No.
Of that?
Wait, I understood you as saying you charge a flat fee, like
Based
a
on
per
how
like a
much
month.
money you have.
Per revenue window, right? So
Okay.
like 0 to
So every
250.
like, bracket.
Yeah,
has its
bracket.
own
Yeah, and
flat
then like
fee.
yeah, exactly. So like 0 to 250 has a flat fee. 500 to
Okay.
250, 500 has a flat fee. 500
Oh.
plus has another fee. So it doesn't.
500,000, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Got you. Okay. Cool. So that makes sense. So now how about so that's on the business side,
Right.
where you help someone. Basically, what you did was you used your master's in accounting to jump into their you created their financials first of all.
right.
Now that we have financials, I can make some opinions. After a quarter or two of studying their financials, you're like, yo, you are working too hard on the low profit margin stuff. So that's an example where you come in and you look at the product selection and profits, and you're like, you should be reconsidering how you handle your business. Cool. What about on the personal financial side? So what if Sam became super
I was going to
rich?
use Sam as an
for real?
example
Go
before
for
you
it.
even said it. That's
Go
crazy.
for it. On the personal financial side.
So let's say Sam had a job at
Comedian.
No, because you like comedy, right? Let's say he had a job where all
A
he
telemarketer.
a telemarketer, but he had to do improv telemarketing, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Zip, zap, buy.
right. But he made $100,000, right, a year
As an improv telemarketer.
right, but he didn't like his job and his expenses. His lifestyle was $100,000 lifestyle.
But he really wanted to be a
But
stand-up
He really
comedian.
wanted to be a stand-up comedian, but he knew
Boom.
that his first stand-up comedian job would only like pay him $50,000, right?
Yeah.
So
You hope.
right. So what I came and did for this one particular client is we got her to use a budgeting system or way of allocating her money. I hate to use the word budget, but got her on a system to where she taught her how to spend less money over time, right?
Okay.
So after about a year working together,
Wait, why is she spending less money over time? So that she can become the stand-up comedian?
well, so it's just because she needed to stop spending all her money, literally all of it. So we put her on a system, and she got more efficient as time went on, and she ended up allocating her money better. But she was only like spending like, in this particular example, so Sam went from spending all $100,000 to only $50 now because he to lower his cost of living, right?
Yeah. So
And
once you help Sam get down to 50,
It's
he
like-
can now say,
he can-
I can become a stand-up comedian.
Exactly. And so that's
Ah.
it was a less, it wasn't that example, but it was just like that. And she was able to quit and then do what she loves to do. And the money will come back as you senior in a business or whatever. But giving her that type of freedom, and I call it freedom because
Right.
you now have the choice to like leave and do what you want to do now that your lifestyle is according.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, this is a great example. Thank you, man. That makes sense. Did you get that, Sam?
Yep.
That's cool. I like that. Did you get that in your hand? I think a lot of
Yeah.
people will say, I wish I could do my dream of stand-up comedy or whatever, but money's the problem, right? Everyone always uses the excuse of, I would be happier, but I've got to stay in this job because of money. And I think what I've said before and what you're saying is like, money should actually not be something that holds a person back. If you're smart about the way you handle your money, you could do anything you want in the world.
Anything.
Yeah, is that what you believe?
Yeah, no, I really, that's why I preach entrepreneurship. Like I preach it because I know anything's possible.
Right.
If I told you some of the ways my clients make money off things I thought it was impossible to monetize, right?
Do tell.
Yeah. Can you talk about it?
We're all like chomping at the bit.
Yeah.
I see saliva coming out of Sam's mouth right now. Hey,
That's normal for Sam,
wipe
though.
your
No,
chin.
it's probably bad. Don't talk.
Were there some other ones that popped in your head?
Yeah, I don't want to disclose too much. But
Yeah, be careful. Right?
Yeah,
I feel you.
but one literally runs a blog about gardening, literally about how to garden,
Yeah.
right? Because he loves gardening,
Yeah, I get that.
crushing it.
Oh, really?
Talk about crushing it.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I go to a blog called thegourmetchef.com, right? This dude outlines in detail how to cook a steak the way Capital Grill or Gibson's cooks the steak. Like, he's figured out ways to make the steak amazing. Right. And I'm not gonna lie to you, after going to his blog so many times, I've perfected it. I'm really good at it. I've never given the dude money, but I'm like one of his biggest users, bro. I'm hitting the website all the time. So if I was big on gardening, not cooking, I'd be the same thing. I'd be the same way.
Yeah, it's like you can. So it taught me you can monetize anything, right? Like literally.
Sam, you need to start a sex robot blog.
Yeah, I swear, it's some guy with
What
a
are you
sex
wasting your time
robot,
for?
something Reddit page blog, and he's killing it. I'm telling you,
Dude, what are you wasting your time for?
Yeah, I know. It's something.
Yeah,
Start
you
a
could-
blog or like how to,
And then do pictures and stuff. You could be IG influencer for sex robots.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see those.
This is Tracy.
Right.
He's a real calculating bitch.
I mean, robot.
but to be able to do that, you first need to lower, be able to leave the job that's trapping you, right?
Right.
But in order to do that, you have to learn how to manage your money better so you can live off lower income while you get this thing started.
Any other places where you were like, this shocked you how much they were making?
One client, and it's not an influencer because he really takes great pictures, like amazing pictures of amazing cities. So she's getting flown around by all these companies to take pictures in these cities, and when I saw her first revenue line, I'm like, come on, are you serious? She made more than the senior VP at Northern Trust. It's like,
Good
yo,
for her,
and she's
man.
and she gets to travel while she's doing it,
It's amazing.
taking pictures, right? So it's
All these
crazy.
people make money just on advertisement, right? You get a lot of
So some of it's
attention.
advertisement, some of it affiliate, some of it is
When you say affiliate, what is it?
Yeah, I was gonna.
okay, so if Apple wants you to take a picture of, well, I guess that's a bad example. I want to give an example of something like a product like Beats wants you to take a picture of their headphones on a
Beats
Beats by Dre, right? They want to take a picture of their headphones in this acoustic background, whatever, and then you like at them, and that's that affiliate deal, meaning like you are representing their brand.
She'll travel to whatever the Grand Canyon. She'll put the Beats headphones on, take a picture of herself, and boom, 10 million people just saw her wearing Beats.
Exactly, and they think it's cool because it's, whatever. Or
that's affiliate.
Yeah.
It'd be like you on your Instagram page. Taking a picture of...
It's like you're being sponsored by someone to wear something.
Yeah, like if he really took a nice picture in the club with the sex robot and bottle service, and he just added them, and then they would pay him for that type of exposure.
Right. Who would pay him? The sex robot creator?
Oh yeah, whichever one he's using these days.
Yeah, isn't that a little ridiculous though? That like
Sam, they're just feeding you ideas, man. You gotta hop on this.
I need to do something. I just need a sex robot. I don't know if I would have. It just seems scary to me.
Sex robot?
Just a lifeless. Yeah, I can have sex with people.
You gotta try things.
Sure.
Escalators are probably scary on the first day.
Have you seen Westworld?
No.
Oh yeah, on HBO.
Yeah.
He doesn't watch Game of Thrones, so he's definitely not watching Westworld.
I've only seen some of it, but it sounds like that.
Y'all have any final questions for our main man Cofield? That was freaking amazing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't know, man.
Yeah,
I've been having to pee for the past 15 minutes.
Oh man,
I'm excited to do that.
I'm gonna lock the door and make sure you don't get there.
Lock the gates,
dude. I think the thing I liked about you most, Cofield, was why you're doing what you're doing. You got the masters, you got the CPA, man. You can go get a job at KPMG or PwC. You can do it, and they'll pay you your 100. There you go. Yeah. They'll pay you your 120, 150, 170. You'll be middle management for the next 40 years. Mm-hmm. But you're like, no, I need to touch and feel human beings. Not in that way, Sam. I need and I need to support them and help them. It's going to help my mission, my moral purpose. And I'm like, yo, that's where you want to come from. So thank you very much for doing that. And thank you for being on the show, brother.
Yeah, man, great work. Love having you here.
Appreciate it, man. This is fun, guys. Yeah.
Absolutely. Once again, Cofield, what's your website?
CofieldAdvisors.com.
Yep.
And I don't think I mentioned this. My business is 100% virtual.
Okay.
So I don't meet any of my clients in person, which allows me to work with people in different states or whatever. It allows me to travel the country and still work.
Perfect. So. Sam, anything you want to plug, man?
Oh man, I had the
July
12th. July 12th in Chicago at the Otherworld Theater.
The Otherworld Theater,
headlining.
July 12th. You are headlining. Headline comedian at the Otherworld Theater, July 12th.
Please come out.
Do you know the time off the top of your head?
It's so depressing when 8 probably 8
p.m.
Yeah.
Check out the Otherworld Theater's website.
Smug Prickett on fucking Instagram.
Smug Prickett.
Yeah,
my main man. Thank you for being here, brother.
Thanks, man.
Nice to have you back. Boom. Air fist bump. Thanks for listening, guys. Peace.